Since Britain gave this outstanding invention to the world in 1958, British-built hovercraft have travelled 400,000 miles. That's more than 16 times round the Earth. And down on the south coast, it's becoming as commonplace to catch a hovercraft as to catch a bus. This service, linking the Isle of Wight with the mainland, was the first all-the-year-round regular passenger service in the world. In its first year, with only one of these 38-seater craft, it carried more than 250,000 people. Larger craft of similar design to this radio-controlled model under test will be operating around Britain's coast and across the English Channel by the spring of 1968. Depending on the route, they'll be able to carry 250 passengers and 32 cars, or up to 800 commuter passengers alone, at airspeeds of up to 60 knots over 8 to 10-foot waves. The full-sized craft are being built by the British Hovercraft Corporation at Cowes, and larger ones still, illustrated by this model of a 4,000 to 5,000 ton ocean-going hovercraft, are already being planned to carry the sort of cargo or passenger loads that ships carry today. The market for British hovercraft is wide open, and as it expands, more commanders will be needed to pilot them. But training can be an expensive business, for craft today cost almost £100,000 at around £60 an hour to run. Pupils are sponsored by the operating company for which they'll work. They need to be able to think fast and act fast. Most of today's hovercraft commanders and instructors have been airmen or sailors. Useful experience, for the hovercraft is part aeroplane, part ship, and part land vehicle. Some commanders, like those from the Fleet Air Arm, have both air and sea experience, but some pupils have neither. They're chosen on the basis of temperament and personality, and ability to grasp the background of mechanical engineering and basic aerodynamics. There is no shortage of would-be hovercraft captains, and until recently, the manufacturers taught each purchaser's operators to pilot their hovercraft as part of the sales deal. This classroom is at Cowes, but some of the future training is likely to be done at Ryde at a special school being set up by the British company who started the world's first all-the-year-round passenger service across the Solent. It's second nature for an airman to keep one eye on a mass of instruments and the other on what's happening ahead. But these controls are a cross between those of a helicopter, aircraft, and ship. As most hovercraft operate in busy shipping areas, they use radar. But the pilot must still keep a sharp lookout and be ready to take avoiding action. On this craft, a single turbine aero engine both lifts the craft and drives it forward with a variable pitch propeller. When the hovercraft is underway, it's on a cushion of air skimming over the surface, but not touching it. The captain has to allow for wind, and when he turns, he must bank like an aircraft to prevent skidding. When the pilot throttles back or plows in, his craft floats like a boat, and this is where experience as a mariner helps. This hovercraft, built for Britain's armed forces, is the largest in service anywhere in the world. It requires a 5-man crew on the flight deck alone. The inter-service unit has tested almost every type of hovercraft in various military roles. It has turned out 12 service pilots, but handling military hovercraft, particularly big ones, requires double the normal amount of training. The crews must be able to operate these military hovercraft in every corner of the globe. Already, they've skimmed up mountain rivers and over rapids in Borneo, across the Aden Desert, paddy fields of Thailand, and mudflats of Germany, carrying troops and supplies. Craft like this can fire torpedoes accurately, but any torpedo fired at them would pass harmlessly under their cushion of air. Unlike surface ships, their engine noise can't be heard by submarines. They can't be detected by the submarine's electronic equipment either. They've proved themselves maids of all work, craft that can do almost anything. Civilian pilots usually spend 150 hours as co-pilot and 30 to 40 hours or so in full control of their hovercraft before they're accepted as being fully competent to carry fare-paying passengers. Their pay is much the same as that of some airline pilots. So far, 50 permits to fly have been issued. Yes, that's what the certificates are called, and half of them are held by pilots working in Britain. Hovercraft make ideal rescue craft besides carrying passengers, as they can cross almost any kind of surface. They've already rescued swimmers and yachtsmen in difficulties in the Solent. The Royal National Lifeboat Institution is considering the use of hovercraft around Britain's coasts, and their Deputy Chief Inspector is a fully qualified hovercraft commander. If you feel like piloting a hovercraft yourself, you can always join the fast-growing amateur hovercraft movement, one of the enthusiasts of which is Lord Brassey. At Apthorpe Hall near Peterborough, he's making small craft and helping to form hover clubs up and down the country. There's nothing like a hovercraft for avoiding traffic jams, and women drivers are welcome. The lift-off is easy if you can get hold of a reliable motorcycle engine. If not, you may need Lord Brassey's family motto: often in trouble, never in fear.